Working on your own brakes is easier than it sounds, and it's a great way to save money, whether you're flushing fluid or replacing brake pads. There are a few extra things to know if you're headed to the track, but regardless of whether you're going to the track or just staying on the street, here are some helpful tips to help you out.
These are some of the materials and supplies you'll need to change your brake pads and to bleed or change out your brake fluid. Over here on the left, we've got brake pads. The top ones are Techstar brake pads. Those are good street pads. They're made to be quiet, they're made not to dust a lot, and they're made to work in most situations. Below that, we've got Paget RS racing pads. Those are designed for high temperature, forceful use. They will make a lot more noise, they'll dust a lot more, but at high temperatures, they don't fade. They will last a lot longer in stressful situations. They're not a good pad on the street. This is a good pad for the track. You have those choices available. Whenever you're working on brakes, the one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to get your brake pad, you don't want to get your brake rotors dirty. Always have some brake parts cleaner available to do that. It's an inexpensive piece of insurance. This is $1.88. It's worth having. Brake fluid. There are several kinds on the market. Generally, what you find when you go to the local auto parts store is .3 brake fluid. Use it if you've got a street car. I wouldn't use it very often. What I prefer is the AutoWerks racing brake fluid. Motul, AutoWerks, and Total, and several others all make good racing brake fluid. The difference is .4, which, by the way, is .4 is recommended for most German cars anyway. A .4 racing brake fluid has a much higher boiling point than the .3. This is about a 350-degree boiling point. This is about a 600-degree boiling point. You don't want your brake fluid boiling. That's bad. If you're on the track, I would highly recommend you using this. If you're a very aggressive, if you're an aggressive user of your brakes, it still wouldn't hurt to use it. In any case, these are basically what you need. Some of the other things we've got here include this brake kit, master brake kit. This is something you can rent at any reasonable auto parts store. This particular one came from Advanced Auto Parts. It allows you to work on any kind of brake system. It's got a variety of tools in it, including a cutter, the piston retraction tools. It's got a tubing bender. It's got a variety of specialized wrenches. It's a handy tool to use, and typically you can rent those for very little or for very little money or for free. Over here, when it comes to bleeding brakes, there are several routes you can go. We've got 4 different tools used for bleeding brakes here. This is a vacuum or pressure pump brake bleeding kit. Again, this was a rental tool, free rental. This particular one came from Advanced Auto Parts. You can rent those most places. We brought that along to show that you can use different types of brake bleeding kits. This one, again, as I said, is a vacuum or pressure type. Next to that is a Motive Products power bleeder. This particular one has the attachment for European cars. That's under $50, available most places, including AutoWerks of America. That pressurizes your entire system, so your entire braking system on most cars, so that you can bleed the brakes by yourself. Here in front, we got a one-man brake bleeder kit that's available. This is by OEM Tools. This is available at just about any chain auto parts place around the country. I've tried to use this a few times without success. I don't know whether it's me or it's the tool, but I'm not excited about this. Basically, it's 10 bucks down the drain as far as I'm concerned. The handiest tool that I've ever used for brake bleeding is my 15-cent catch can. There are catch cans on the market that you can buy. You can pay $50 for them. This one cost me 15 cents. I took an empty can from some Great Northern beans. I took a coat hanger, some wire ties, and a piece of tubing that cost me 15 cents a foot. it works just fine.